This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I am your host, JoAnn Crohn, joined here by the brilliant Brie Tucker.
Why, hello, buddy. How are you?
We're talking about something today that really affects me more than it affects Brie, and it is when teens want to talk to you late at night and all you want to do is sleep. Huge problem for me, Brie.
Well, I will admit it's becoming more of an issue as I've gotten older. I do like going to bed earlier, but in the previous years, and I wouldn't say like just in the last year, probably trying to go to bed at like 9, like a responsible adult. I used to go to bed at like midnight. So my kids would come and talk. I'd be like, hey, what's up? Come join the night party. Did you bring me any Taco Bell?
I know. See, I love my bedtime. I've always loved my bedtime. Even in high school, like I went to bed at 10 p.m. because I've always had this anxiety about getting enough sleep from the time I was a teen. And I know like I work the best on a lot of good sleep. So I have my routine. I usually go in my bed at like 9:30 to read, and then I just conk out. It's my whole nighttime routine. So when my daughter started coming in my bedroom at 10:15, it was a real issue.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because the other thing too is like, and we've done episodes about like how your teens give you the slip. Like once they start to hit just over the tween and into the teen, the chattiness kind of goes away. So like when you get it, it's almost like you've got this like scared little rabbit. And you're like, don't scare the rabbit.
Don't scare.
Be quiet. Gotta be gentle. They might hop away. I don't know why I made my kids a rabbit, but
no, but I know what you're talking about. You're
right?
Like, I don't get this behavior all the time. They're usually not this nice and open. Usually they're a bit cagey and don't want to tell me anything. So I just need to be quiet, but also sleep. And so in this episode, we are talking for you. If you feel guilty saying not now when your teen finally opens up and you struggle to balance your teen's emotional needs with your own rest, this is the episode for you. We have some tips to help you out and some personal experience too. Because hi, I'm JoAnn and I like to go to bed early. And Brie is going to bed earlier these days as well.
Yes. Brie's attempting to be an adult. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
So let's get on with the show. So teens, they come in, they want to talk at night. Let's talk about why this happens. Because I find that when you understand things from a parent, especially when you understand your kid's behavior psychologically, developmentally, it's a lot easier for you to function without letting your emotions take over. That's why I think it's so important to know why teens talk at night.
Yeah. And I think an important factor, because we as adults, we know the schedule of the day, right? And we know what's considered late and what isn't considered late. I may stay up to midnight, but I'm not going to text somebody at 11 o'clock at night. I know most normal people are in bed and asleep. And so I think sometimes we think our kids have the same thought process we do. They know we go to bed. So if they're choosing to come in late at night, they're choosing to disturb us. But that's not it.
It's not it.
No, not at all.
They're wired to open up at night because when, you get to the adolescent phase, the melatonin production, that chemical that tells your body to sleep and wind down, is actually delayed by a few hours. It gets pushed to later and later at night. So this is why teens are up later at night. This is why teens have a really hard time waking up in the morning because their bodies aren't telling them to sleep on time, regardless of anything that we do, like saying, oh, it's the screen time. It's like all the stimulation. Yes, that could be a factor, but also they're wired to stay up late. It's just a fact of adolescence.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's their biology. Mm-hmm. It's their biology. And we have quite a few episodes that we've talked about this with multiple experts on too. So, but there's a few things that we have found. So first of all, they are wired to stay up at night. Mm-hmm. That is their biology. What are some other things that we found when we were researching?
It's funny, there's lower pressure at night and there's fewer distractions and more openness. I was reading a Washington Post article that was using advice from one of our favorites here on the No Guilt Mom podcast, Dr. Lisa Damore. And she said that at night, when teens come and talk to you as a parent, you're tired. And that's actually what they're looking for, because when you're tired, you tend to question less and listen more. And that kind of hit me hard.
True.
Because I'm a very curious person. I like to ask all the questions.
Mhm.
I want to know all the things. And when I'm tired, all I want to do is just lay there and do nothing. So I agree with this statement. I do question less.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, I'm thinking right now, when the few times since I've started going to bed earlier, my daughter comes in to talk to me normally, like after work or something, and I'm fighting just to stay conscious. So yeah, there's no there's no thought process going on in my head of being curious. I'm only curious when it'll end. That's the only curiosity.
And it's interesting in this whole like listening more, because it shows that we don't have to have the right answers all the time to talk with our teens. We could just be there, be present, if not sleepy. And
Yeah.
it's almost better.
Yeah. They enjoy the fact that they can share without feeling like they have to back up all the things that they're saying with facts and reasons, because I do run into this a lot with my daughter, because tear, my oldest is off at college. So with my daughter, sometimes I'll be curious about something and she will immediately go on the defense. So like the other day, she was telling me how she did really well on her pre-calc test. And I was like, oh, great. How did that affect your grade? And she's like, Mom, I have a good grade in the class. And I'm like, I was literally just curious. In no way was that a judgment.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes teens are waiting for that having to defend their answer. So
I would say a lot of people are,
Yeah.
are in that boat.
she gets that from me. What? What?
Because I think as parents, we tend to question when we don't need to question at all.
Yeah.
Like we think our questioning is helpful. Sometimes if I really get self-reflective on the questioning, it's to alleviate my own anxiety about a situation rather than actually help them through their situation. So for instance, if I am worried about them taking on too much, I might ask a question, be like, oh, do you feel like you have time for other things? And it's a leading question. It's like a question that's telling my opinion in this question unknowingly and putting this judgment on them that they don't know how to handle their schedule, that they don't know how to do all the things. So I totally see how, as a parent, we ask questions that offend our kids and they become defensive against us.
Yeah, I can totally see that for sure. Thinking about other things on why they do this, like, first of all, like we already said, it's biology. So if you're a tween, and they start this as they're tweens. So if your tween or your teen is doing this, I want you to know, again, we already talked about brain development, but another big thing is that at this age, they tend to have some time blindness. So like they're not entirely aware of your schedule versus their schedule. And they also are very impulsive at this age. I have said before, oh my gosh, I haven't even told you this, JoAnn. My husband went to a conference last week and I need to look up who the specialist was, but one of them did share that teens are toddlers with better vocabulary.
Oh my gosh, they stole it. They listened to the No Guilt Mom podcast and they took it right from you. They took it right from you.
He started laughing so hard and he's like, I couldn't wait to come home and tell you this, because they are. So they're very impulsive. They want to do things that when they think of it, they're excited and they want to share it. So it doesn't matter to them that it's 10 o'clock at night. So again, they're not trying to be tricky with you on it. They just don't necessarily understand the time frames. Their body certainly doesn't.
Yeah, I've had situations where my daughter comes in and I am barely conscious. And she's like, Mom, why aren't you listening to me? And I'm like, I'm so tired right now. One of her favorite things to do is find funny videos, and she likes them on either TikTok or Instagram with the specific intention to come and show us later the funny videos. And this happens a lot late at night where she's like, okay, time to show funny videos. My attention span is only so good. So like big, Brie.
Yeah.
There's only so many videos I can watch where I'm like, I don't get it. Ugh, how can you not get it?
Or even like being able to get the humor.
Yeah, I don't get the humor.
I mean, most of the time I have to think to get the few. There are a few things that I can be half asleep and still laugh at. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't even get the humor during the daytime when I have a full capacity, because what I was told yesterday is, Mom, somebody needs to enroll you in an AP Lit class so you know how to like compare material and criticize stuff. I'm like, excuse me? This is
God.
like looking at Gen Z humor means that I am somehow not able to comprehend. No, this is not the case. So knowing that from, I can't do that during the daytime, how am I supposed to do that at night?
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. And the amount of offense, my son doesn't care as much. My son makes fun of me if I don't get the joke, but my daughter gets offended if I don't get the joke.
So offended. So offended.
I'm sorry, I'm not as cool as you thought I was.
So you're dealing with this as well as dealing with all of these things that we mentioned. Teens have the time blindness, their melatonin production's delayed, so they're not even tired. Like, you're not in a fair fight here about the stay awake versus like, you're both at different chemical levels at that time.
You're in two different weight classes. Ha,
Yes.
ha, ha.
So knowing this, coming up, we're going to talk about how to set the boundaries without pushing your teen away. Yes, it is possible. You don't have to be afraid that they're going to be a little scared rabbit and never come to you again. And we're going to do that right after this. Nowadays, we're all juggling work, school drop-offs, events, appointments, and everything else. So flexibility in education isn't just nice to have, it is essential.
And that's what makes K-12 powered schools such a fantastic and valuable option. It's tuition free. You heard that, free. Accredited online public school for kindergarten through 12th grade, and it's designed to fit your real family life.
With K-12, school happens wherever there's internet, whether that's from the comfort of home, a grandparent's house, or on the go between activities. It moves with you.
Students can follow a daily schedule that fits their learning style and your family's rhythm, all with the support of certified teachers who are trained specifically for online education.
Plus, there are online clubs and social events so kids can still connect and build confidence no matter where they're logging in from. See why more than 3 million families have chosen K-12 to empower their students. Go to k12.com/ngm today to learn more. That's the letter K, the number 12.com/ngm. k12.com/ngm.
How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent, savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pate. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in one convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
So we talked about why teens do this. Now let's talk about the what do we do about it? Because I can't stay up late, Brie. I can't. It's not working for me.
It's not a thing that our bodies are meant to do. I do think it varies on a lot of different things, right? Like if you are a morning person or a night person, that affects your attention. Like if my kids were to come and have a deep conversation with me in the morning before I've had coffee, I cannot talk to them. I just know. They come near me and I'm almost like a sitcom. Like, no, stop right there. I am not caffeinated enough for this conversation just yet. But I think that sometimes we worry about those scared little rabbits. And we're afraid that if we tell them no, they won't come back. Mm-hmm. Right?
So they'll get very offended, which they do. They do get very offended. And they're like, you don't want to spend time with me. You don't care about me. You aren't listening.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
no,
okay.
I get it all. Yes.
Let me do that when I'm talking to you and you are scrolling on your phone and not looking at me. And I go, are you even listening? And they're like, yes, you just said. And you're like,
I do that.
Yeah.
Actually.
You do?
I'm like, listen, when you come and talk to me at night, this is the same thing that's going on right now. And I get the reaction, no, it's not. She goes away really, really mad. However, she does come back.
Yeah.
And she does take it in. So this is just my message to all of you. Even if your teens have a really harsh reaction when you set a boundary, when you tell them what's going on, know that that's temporary.
Yes.
They do take in what you say. They really do.
They do.
Because you could see it later on.
Right. And there is a difference. They recognize the difference between don't talk to me and let's continue this another time. For sure.
Because the biggest thing my daughter calls me on is if she comes and talks to me and I am preoccupied with other things. So, like, I am preoccupied with my phone. I am preoccupied with work. Sometimes she's justified that my attention was taken by something not necessary. Sometimes she's not, where if I'm in my office and she comes in and she wants to talk right then, she's like, Mom, you're not paying attention to me. I'm like, dude, I was just in the middle of a project. You came to me.
Right.
Yes.
So that's why it's important to have a boundary. So, like, we are going to reframe this. Boundaries are not rejecting our kids. They are not. They are making it so that our relationships can continue to grow in a healthy place.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, don't we want our kids to have healthy boundaries? I don't want my kid to grow up thinking that they got to do the stop and drop all the time. They have to stop what they're doing as soon as somebody else comes and talks to them, because that's not healthy. That's how you get burnt out.
And there's kind of like two different ways of looking at the world. And I was just reading this morning in the book Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erickson, which I highly recommend. There is the first way of looking at the world is thinking that everybody should be harmonious all the time. And when you look at the world this way, you think that all these little problems, all of the small things, just brush it under the rug. Brush it under the rug like it doesn't matter.
Just stuff
it's
it down.
More important. Yeah, it's more important to have this harmony, to make sure everybody's happy. And in that state, we get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Because little things can fester and fester and fester until they explode into big things.
Oh, 100%.
The second way of looking at the world, though, is to confront conflicts as soon as they happen. If there's a little thing where your teen is coming in and interrupting you during working, the way to look at that situation from a harmony point of view is being like, oh, they're only young once and I should just ignore this and it'll all be fine. The way to look at it with this idea that conflicts are natural, conflicts happen all the time as humans, is to confront it right then and say like, hey, I love you. I am working right now and I am not going to be here the best way for you in this conversation. And when you confront all those conflicts, you tend to have harmony long term, where there's no big explosions because everybody's clear on what's expected.
And nobody's being pushed into a people pleaser role, for starters.
No.
And I think it's important too that, like, there is a time and a place for that isn't a big deal. I can let this go.
Yes.
But that depends on you. You have to ask yourself, is this something that I can let go or not? And we're telling you, as the ghosts of children in the future, if you don't have a teen or a tween or you're just starting this phase, that's not the way to go. You will get yourself in trouble by just constantly pushing yourself to stay awake and meet them at this time. It's much better to deal with the conflict, like you said, and then your teens know you're listening. They know that you're into it. They know that you care. Because there will be a point where you will snap if you're shoving stuff down.
Oh yeah, and
Right?
it's usually during moments of high stress. If you completely stuff things down, when you're stressed out, when you're tired, it's all going to come out in a way that you can't control because it'll be an emotional reaction, and that'll be a lot more intense and hurtful than you mean for it to be.
Yep.
Versus talking about it right then. And I think that's also good to practice non-reactivity when teens talk to you as well.
Yes. Try to cut back on the sarcasm. Try to not be, why are you in here? I'm trying to sleep.
Or even like the information they give you, like the, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. Or the fear, I think we can all identify with going to talk with our parents and seeing like the fear on their faces when we tell them something. We wanted to protect them. And that's the reason I know I, as a teen, didn't share things because I was protecting my parents and their reaction. They would get worried. I'd be like, oh yeah, this is happening. What are you going to do about it? For instance, if you're getting a bad grade, I got an F on my test. Oh my gosh, like what are your plans? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to go in for extra credit? Oh, you should be going in and seeing your teacher after school. Your teacher has Q&As. And they would get all worked up. And me, when I was already in that state of feeling ashamed, of feeling like knowing I should have done things differently, I didn't want to have someone else's emotions on top of that. And so I just shut down. I didn't talk.
Well, and also being asked, like rapid fire, what are your solutions? What are you going to do? I was smiling as you were saying that because I think I had that exact conversation with both of my kids when they were in middle school where I didn't have the anxiety in my voice, but I would be like, so what do you think you're going to do? Or do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? And you're right. Like looking back at it now, my kid told me the information and I didn't even give him time to process it. I didn't give myself time to process it.
It's a hard thing to realize when we do it as parents.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I get called out on it all the time by my husband and by my kids, which is incredibly painful at the moment.
Yeah.
But also looking at it as conflicts happen to humans. And as soon as you settle them, you can move on and be harmonious. When you get that feedback about yourself, it is hurtful in the moment, but it's also necessary to grow and to have really great connected relationships with people.
Yeah.
Because then you're aware of what you're doing and you can move forward.
Yeah. So actually, I'm going to share with our audience one of the boundaries that I do with my kids. Now that I've started going to bed a little bit earlier, I can't necessarily entertain their 11 p.m. chats. So if there's something that I want to talk to my kids about, I will go in about 30 minutes before I want to start getting ready for bed. And it's important that I say it that way, getting ready for bed, not 30 minutes before I want to be asleep. So 30 minutes before I'm getting ready for bed, I will go in their room and I will be inquisitive. And it depends on the kid. With my son, I would come in and just kind of be like, hey, can I hang out while you're playing your game? And sometimes he would chat with me a little bit. With my daughter, I would come in and I almost always had to ask about what she was watching, whatever she was streaming at the time. And then we would kind of get in a conversation about other things that were going on. And that was my check-in. And once the conversation came to an ending point, or I was so tired that I needed to start getting ready to go to bed, it was past my time that I had allotted for it, I would tell them, I love you so much, gonna go to bed, but if you want to chat more tomorrow, we can certainly, I would love to talk more about this if you're up for it. Hug, kiss, and I leave. And I've never once had my kids tell me that they feel like they can't talk to me about things. It has worked well for Brie and her family.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing to give them that space to get everything off, everything off their chest without having to come in and wake you up, which I have.
And it's not a ton of work on my end. I just got to be like, all right, I want to be getting ready for bed at 9. So I'm going to go upstairs and start talking to them at 8:30. It's hard when they're not there. I mean, it's like I'm talking to a wall because I am. But
yeah, no, I was going to mention
right?
that because for everyone who has a teen who you try to go in and talk to them and they give you one-word answers and they roll their eyes, know that that's a very common response as well. Because I go in for the check-ins and I get that from my daughter too. It's like I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I just want to say goodnight. Okay, goodnight. What is this? It's a complete emotional reaction.
Yeah.
It is nothing to do with me. Something that I even recognize is that when my daughter's in stressful moments, usually when school is happening, I'm the punching bag. And
yeah, we're the safe ones. Yeah.
Yes, that sucks. But also, I try not to take it personally. I see she's emotionally overwhelmed. And all I want to do is I want to be that supportive presence and just say, okay, cool. I love you and good night.
Yeah. And find your way to vent. Have a friend, write it in a journal, whatever it is. Find your way to get that out so that you don't come back to your teen the next day and be like, you were so mean last night. You hurt my feelings.
And I do talk to her about that. If it's a repeated incident, it's like, hey, you've been really short with me lately.
Yes.
I will bring that up.
Yeah, we're here to tell you guys it's got to be more than once. Because give us all the grace that we sometimes just don't have the emotional regulation flip switched. So,
yeah. So coming up next, we have 3 tools to help you respond in the moment without guilt or shutdowns. And it's coming up right after this.
Finish training for the day? Time to fight post-workout fatigue with Core Power Protein Shakes.
They're packed with 26 grams of high-quality protein to build muscle and electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to help your body replenish, rebuild, and repair post-workout so you can power on to the next one. Champion your recovery with Core Power. Visit corepower.com to learn more.
My marathon isn't about time. It's about my 26 friends with intellectual disabilities I'm dedicating each mile to. I'm Joseph. I'm running my first Bank of America Chicago Marathon for Special Olympics Illinois to help give my friends a place to shine.
Join Bank of America in supporting Joseph's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportjoseph. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
So far, we've talked about why teens come in and talk to you late at night, even though like you're totally tired and just want to go to sleep. And then a few boundaries that you can set. So let's bring it all together and talk about these 3 tools, Brie, to stay connected and rested. This first one is something that has helped me. And it actually goes along with Dr. Lisa Damour's advice. It's figure out how to rest and listen. I realized that my daughter coming in at night, it was something I had to work through on my own, as well as communicate my boundary to her so that we were both changing. We were both meeting in the middle versus me saying, okay, no, this is the way it has to be. And you have to leave right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Like nobody likes the one-sided solution that where one person gets everything they want and the other person gets nothing out of the deal. That's really what it is when you're like, go away.
Something I did and I told my daughter is I'm like, hey, I am really tired right now, but I can stay awake for another 15 minutes so you can talk and vent. And usually that was okay. And then at 15 minutes, I would just reassess. I'm like, how am I? Am I good? Am I falling asleep? If I'm falling asleep, I was like, hey, okay, I can't anymore. I love you so much. Let's talk tomorrow. But I was able to push myself just a little bit to rest and listen at the time that she wanted to talk.
And I like the wording that you used in there. And I think that leads us into our next tip. So using a pause phrase, something like, I love that you're telling me this and I want to give it the attention it deserves. Can we chat about this in the morning? Or can we chat about this after school tomorrow? Or can we go get coffee and chat about it? It's still going to be like a tomorrow kind of thing. And it might not even be tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow's crazy, but it's reaffirming that I love you. You are important. What you're wanting to tell me is important. And I can't be present. It's a way to let your kid know we need to pause this conversation, not end it, pause it, and we will pick it back up again later. So,
and it's not like this amorphous later time, but you're setting an exact time to talk about it. And sometimes you do that and they don't want to talk about the issue anymore because they've already resolved it in their minds. And that's okay. You did not fail. You did not do anything wrong. They were able to process.
That's important to say because I think in podcast land, raise your hand if you've ever tried to talk to, or your teens ever tried to talk to you about something, you had to pause them. And then when you came back to the conversation, they were like, never mind. I already figured it out.
Yeah.
It's not you. The only time that I would say that we have some responsibility in it is when we totally forget to follow up on it. That's where I'm like, I could have done better. I could do better next time. But beating yourself up over what you already did doesn't help anybody.
Yeah. A lot of times when you have a problem too, you seek out a person to talk through it with. But if that person isn't available at that time, you find another method to deal with your problem just naturally.
Yeah.
And so if the problem's not urgent anymore, that's okay. You did good.
Yeah.
You did good.
Sometimes they just feel chatty. Like, I think we're all like that, right? Sometimes you just want to chat and then other times you don't want to chat. So it's like, I wanted to tell you about 16 different little things that happened in my day, But now that it's the next morning, I don't feel like talking about the 16 different things in the day. And when
I forget those 16 little things that happened in my day now. 16 other things have happened and now.
It's 30 things now. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think that like when we try to come back and we push it and our teen has already told us, I don't want to talk about it anymore, it doesn't help. So we're just trying to tell you, don't worry, you will get your chance again. We can, it will come back. Multiple times. Yes. Another one, like I do tell my kids, like, I'm really happy you're sharing this with me. And I love you so much, but I'm also so tired. So can we do this at another time? And I do have a tendency to say another time, but I would say if I'm being honest, I could do better by saying tomorrow, after school, in the morning, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
That works. So,
and it's all up to your own interpretation.
Yeah.
I think as parents, we think we have to set boundaries sometime just to like teach our kids about boundaries, or we look at our current work and we're annoyed that they're interrupting our train of thought. Then we just have to make the decision. Sometimes I don't even say later because I see like my kids are bursting out of their skins, wanting to tell me something. And I decide, okay, I'm going to pause right here. I'm already interrupted.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And I'm going to give you like 15 minutes. I can do 15 minutes until I have to get on a meeting.
Yeah.
And having that space is usually enough for them.
Yeah.
So I just want to reaffirm, you don't have to set a boundary and say later. You can stop what you're doing and talk to them now. That is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. And then like the third tool you could use is realizing that your family might want to do something totally different than what we've already talked about, right? This is one thing I learned from you years ago. And God, I got to tell you, like it has come through in a pinch so many times. You had told me about having a shared journal or a shared notebook with your kids when there's stuff that, and I started it when my kids were a little bit younger, and I started using it just so happened right before my divorce started, like probably like 6 months before. And it really helped us out through the divorce. And I think that for some teens, writing is less confrontational as well. Because like we talked about, they like to come to us late at night because we're not going to ask them any questions. We can listen more. So maybe start a shared notebook where they can write things to you, and then they have a place where they leave it in your room when they're done writing in it. So you know, oh, the notebook's on my nightstand. That means that my daughter wrote me something. I need to read it. And then you read it and then you write back, or you talk to them back, like whatever it was that they wrote in the notebook. Maybe they'll be like, come talk to me about this tomorrow. I really want to speak with you. So
yeah, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
It's a great non-face-to-face communication method that doesn't disturb your sleep and allows you to be the listener instead of the constant question asker or the interrupter question asker, which I have done.
Yeah, I was going to say another one that I have to do with my son when he is around and not at college. I have to bribe him with food, specifically milkshakes.
Oh.
So I know where his favorite milkshake stops are. And I'll be like, let's go get a milkshake together. And he'll be like, okay.
Okay. I can't resist a milkshake.
Because he knows I'm going to like ask him and we can talk. So like that's another thing. Like now in that example, I'm the one who wants to talk to him. But if he wanted to talk to me, he could do that. Like my daughter has a tendency to do this. She'll be like, Mom, I want to go shopping. And I'll be like, well, where do you want to go? Well, let's just go to Ross so we can just like shop and chat. And I know that means she wants to share things with me. So, okay, I can't go right now, but let's plan to go at 2:00, or let's plan to go on Saturday at this time. And I know that's her cue that I want to talk to you about something. It's not normally anything heavy.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that they come in at 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. And then so-and-so did this, and then so-and-so did that. And can you believe this? And I'm like, oh my God, no.
Yeah. All the teenage lore. It's great.
Yeah.
I hear it and I'm like, oh, thank goodness this is not how I operate in the world anymore.
Thank God.
This was very stressful. Very stressful.
Thank goodness I'm past it. So yeah.
So we hope in this episode that you have gotten some more understanding about why your teens are doing what they're doing, or we've prepared you a little bit for them to do this so that it's not a surprise when it happens in your house. You've also learned some boundaries that won't shut them out. You show that their voice matters, but now might not be the right time for you to actually comprehend everything. And you can be a connected mom and a well-rested human. I am all for well-rested. I think I'm more of a connected mom, Brie, when I am a well-rested human.
Well, I think we all are. We need to fill that cup. And sometimes that cup is hugs. Sometimes that cup is sleep. Sometimes that cup is food. But, sleep is my big one.
Yes. So these are all things that we work on in our balance program. So just know, like, if you want a little extra support, if you want some coaching in situations where maybe you're having some trouble with your teens or communicating with them, Balance is the place to have them. You can go to balanceformoms.com/go to get on the wait list for when Balance opens next. And until next time, remember, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you. We'll talk with you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You can also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.